Welcome everybody. My name is BJ. I will be your instructor for tonight's class. This class will satisfy your on-field portion of your soccer referee training as you make your way to becoming a soccer official. In the chat, I am going to put a link to a spreadsheet. Please fill that out. That's one of the ways we're going to take attendance here tonight. And then also in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and start by sharing my screen, and we're going to do a little bit of an exercise while we're waiting for people to join tonight. So good, people are getting in there. That's perfect. We are going to be focusing primarily on the assistant referee tonight because when we start refereeing, we're going to start primarily, like I said, as an assistant referee. So 90% of the class tonight is going to be about AR. We'll talk about how we do mechanics for signals. We'll talk about offside, why we call offside, and how we call offside. Talk about referees diagonal for a little bit. Then we'll get into arbiter and how we actually get assignments. What I'd like to do is, while we are waiting for everybody to join, I've got an assistant referee here, and he is going to be making some signals. And in the chat, just tell me what you think he's calling and if you think he's calling it correctly. Okay, so that's our assignment for right now. I'm going to close out of this and I'll play it a couple times. Let's see what this first one is. What do you think he's calling there? Yeah, he's calling a throw-in. Calling a throw-in for the defense, as it looks like right now. Does it look good? Yeah, looks pretty good. 45-degree angle, flag, and extension of the arm. And that's what's going on here. Good, let's see what else he's got. How about that? Substitutions, yes, yeah. Is he doing it correctly? Yeah, he's doing it well there. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but hands all the way over the head and in between your palms for the flag is how you call a substitution. What if that was across his waist? What would he be calling? The exact same signal, but across the waist. Any guesses? So a corner, okay, not a corner, but thank you for taking a, oh, come talk. No, not come talk either, but thank you for taking a shot at it. Not subs, no, he'd be calling a penalty kick. It's called the skirt or the shorts, and you're holding it pretty much that same signal, but across the waist. Let's do a couple others. If you're okay, everybody should be able to edit that in the spreadsheet. We're going to take another way to do the attendance a little bit later on as well. What about that? What do you think he's calling there? Yeah, Matthew, he's trying to call subs. So if you say an attempt at substitute, you're going to probably agree that he's not doing it right, right? Yeah, that looks pretty rough. All the way above the head between the palms. Good. We'll do a couple more here. We'll skip that one for now. Now I'll tell you, he's not calling anything. He's just running up the sideline. Do we think he's doing it correctly? I see several people saying no. What's he doing wrong? Yeah, the flag. He's got the flag in the correct hand, and we'll go over what that means in a little bit. But you're exactly right. The flag is being waved, moving about. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. You want that flag to be right alongside as you run up. Good, let's keep going, and we'll just do a couple more. How about that one? Yeah, he's keeping the flag right by the side. That's what he's supposed to be doing, but he's got it in the wrong hand. Exactly. Good job. And again, we're going to go over all of these. How about this one? Yep. That is how we run up the sideline. Just like that. Good job. All right, this will be our last one, unless it's a bad one, and then we'll choose a different one. All right, we're not going to choose that one. What do you think he's calling there? And this is a trick question. He's not calling anything exactly. Is he standing correctly? So I see Sam says no, he's not standing correctly. Anybody else take a stab at it? Carson says no. What's wrong? What do you think he's doing wrong? So believe it or not, he look up. Okay, so he, believe it or not, is standing correctly. He's not supposed to be on the line because, as we'll learn tonight, the line is part of the field. If he's on the line and the ball hits him, he's just stopped play. So, as the assistant referee, you want to stand about 2 feet or so back off of the line when you're doing your running. And he is square to the field. Believe it or not, when we saw him running up and down the field before, that's fine. But you're going to do more sidestepping than running like that. Sidestepping square to the field. We'll talk about where you're supposed to stand as the class goes on tonight. So, and who you're looking for and who you stand square to. So good. All right, that was good, and hopefully we've given everybody enough time to join. In the chat, tell me why you want to be a referee. Why are you here tonight? Need money. You can definitely make money. Stay involved in the game. Money is popular here. Yeah. You've played before. Now you want to look at a different opportunity. That's great too. So yeah, you can make a ton of money. People skills from Maya. That's great too. And a lot of people, sometimes you play soccer your whole life and then you run out of leagues to play in, right? You've aged out of youth soccer. What are you going to do? You can stay involved in it, becoming a referee. Great. That all great answers. If everything is assigned properly on the field, meaning the right amount of teams are there, decision making, Matthew, is this is a great place to do that. But assuming everything is assigned properly, how many teams are on the field? I see a lot of two, a couple three question mark. Yeah, there are 3 teams on the field. The referee team is the third team. So, okay, so that tells me a lot of people play. And yeah, it makes sense. 2 teams in the field. But we have to start thinking, all right, what's the third team? We're the third team. We're there to call the game fairly. As we go through the class tonight, looking at some of the things we're going to call, remember that. And remember that we want to make it easy for our team too. So the badge you're going for tonight is going to be one of actually 2 badges, depending how old you are. If you are under 18, the brand spanking new green referee badge has come out. Came out about 3 weeks ago. So this is hot off the presses. And this is the one you'll get if you're under 18. If you are over 18, you will get this badge, only it'll be 2026, not 2025. And that's the badge that you'll get. Now, I have been refereeing since 1990, and I actually have that badge, which looked like that. And that led to other badges. If you play high school, you'll know what that one looks like. If you play college, you'll know what that one looks like. Soccer is the world's game. I lived in Australia for a little while. Because I was a certified U.S. soccer referee, I could referee there. And I'm showing you all these badges, not to say that I've got a lot of badges. I'm showing you them all because it started for me in 1990 in a class just like this, although shockingly it was not online. So the sky is the limit because there are way more opportunities for you now than there were back in 1990 to get all those badges. It starts with the class, just like we're doing here tonight. At the end of class, we'll talk about how you get in touch with your assigner. The assigner also will be invaluable in helping you as you want to progress your career as a soccer referee. So I'm going to share my screen. And by the way, we are a big group here tonight. Usually there are 2 instructors here. Unfortunately, tonight there isn't. Let's try to utilize chat, and I am going to be looking over here to my right where I see the chat. If you have a questions, I will try to get to it. I'll also ask if there are any questions. If I ask if there are any questions, just turn your microphone on and ask the questions so we don't have to wait for the chat. So, okay. Let me go over to PowerPoint. And tonight we will be going through a PowerPoint. Some of these are just informational slides, but a lot of them are clips. So we'll walk through, we've done a lot of this already. Let's start with this. This is important, right? The uniform. What uniform do you need? Now, there are still sites out there that are selling the old gold jersey. And we'll have clips tonight with the old gold jersey. You don't want that old style gold. It's a little bit duller, a little bit golder looking than this yellow. You want this bright yellow. This is the starter kit available from Official Sports. You do not have to get your uniform from Official Sports. You can get it from wherever you want. This starter kit comes with a lot here. And I'll show you the website. We'll come back to that. Where's Official Sports? Here we are. And I'm just going to go to referee uniforms, and I'm going to go to the economy uniforms, and I'm going to show the kit. And we had the women's kit, so I will pull that up. I think this kit right here. We'll just pull this one up. Notice the price of this kit, and it comes with all the things that we saw. Now, there is another, if you've been to Official Sports, I'm going to go back to referee uniforms, and I'm going to go over here and you see pro uniforms. What's the difference between pro and economy? I will click on the jerseys. One jersey is almost the price of the entire starter kit. Now, what's the actual difference of it? Well, with the pro jersey, you get a zipper and you get 2 Velcro pockets that close. It doesn't mean you're a pro referee. It's just the style of uniform. So what should you get? And look at all these colors. And you also probably saw the pink jersey. I'm sure you've seen that out there. What color should you get? Get the yellow. And if you decide, you know, I really need a second jersey, in North Carolina, the default alternate jersey is the green. But everybody should have the yellow. Now, should I get that economy kit or should I get the pro gear? If you aren't sure that you're going to do this and you want to try this out, see what it's like, go ahead and get that economy kit, that whole kit. If you're not done growing, get the economy kit. Because otherwise, if you go out and start buying this, again, just the jersey, it can get pretty expensive. And I saw a lot of people saying, well, hey, we're doing this for the money. Now, you can make that in one game. That's no problem. But still, if you want to go ahead and you're not sure you want to do it, go ahead and get the economy kit. And in my email, I will have a list of places that you can go and get the gear, whether it's Official Sports, our own North Carolina Soccer Referees website. You can click here and then get gear here as well. Law 5, Score, wherever else you want to get it. The important part is you get the correct style color. So any questions so far on our uniforms? Also, you see these socks. You probably see a lot of socks with the 3 white stripes at the top. In soccer, U.S. soccer now, we've moved to these 2 striped socks. So not the 3 white socks that you see, the 3 white stripes that you've seen. You're going to want flags. You're going to want 2 whistles, even though this kit comes with 1. And you're going to want 2 whistles of a different tone. I'm going to ask why in a minute, so be thinking about it. Also, this comes with a kit, but you know what? U.S. or North Carolina Soccer Referees Association gives you one. What that is the backing to the badge. So it helps it stay on the jersey. And I'll give you an experience tip. You're probably going to want to glue that on too, because what'll happen is this Velcro is so strong, the shirt Velcro is so strong, the first time you put it on, when you take it off, the backing will stay on the shirt and then it's off the badge. So yeah, a little bit of, just regular all-purpose glue would be fine too. So I'm going to play this video, and it's a video of still images, but notice there are two whistles. And in a minute, it's going to say of different pitch. What are the shoe recommendations? Shoe recommendations are anything that you feel comfortable in, predominantly black. Now, if you're asking me, I would not get cleats. Soccer players, you maybe play 2 games a day. Soccer referees, you could have 5 or 6 games a day. Your feet will be killing you if you're wearing cleats. But as long as they're predominantly black and safe, then you'll be fine. So good question. Now, why do you think we want to, or we recommend 2 different pitches on these whistles? Any thoughts? Very good. Right off the bat, I see, in case another field has a whistle of the same sound. So a lot of us play at these big complexes. I'm in the Cary area. We've got Wake Med Soccer Park. Raleigh's got WRAL, Bryan Park in Greensboro, so on. Everybody has been at these big complexes. How many times have you heard the referee say, hey, that's not our whistle? You hear it a lot in your game, right? So if I see that Matthew has a game going and he's blowing the Fox 40 whistle, and on the other side, Carson's blowing the Fox 40 whistle, on my field, probably wouldn't make much sense to use that Fox 40 whistle, because I want to let our players know, hey, this is our whistle. And so you won't be confused when you hear those other whistles going. So that's why you have a whistle with 2 different pitches. So it's not to blow the different whistles during the course of the game. It's so you have a whistle that sounds different from the fields around you to help officiate your game. So good answers there. Yep, okay, good. So everyone's saying pretty much the same thing in the chat. That's great. Now, lanyards. If you can see mine, I'll stop sharing just so you can see this. This is a nice short lanyard. This fits pretty much in the palm of my hand. You can wear whistles that have a little plastic thing that goes around your finger. That's fine. You do not want a long lanyard. For the same reason you don't want to let the players play with jewelry. What happens if someone's hand gets stuck in that? That could be a real problem. So you want to have a nice short lanyard for your whistles. And you can put more than one whistle on there, as you can see with the clip. So that's whistles. Can I officiate keeping time on my phone? What do you think? I'm looking to see. Thank goodness. Don't do it. One great way to not get any more assignments is to use your phone as your clock. Okay, you don't want to do that. You need a watch. In this video, this watch, it's coming around. Hang on, we'll get back to it. Oh my goodness, did I change the video? If I did. This watch. Here we are. We finally got to the watch. $15 at Walmart. And it said it recommends 2. Now, in this case, yeah, you probably want to have 2 watches, but the reason why you want that second watch is in case the first one dies. Do you want the watch to count up or count down? What do you think? Yeah, you want it to count up. Now, here's why. When is the game or the half over? When you blow the whistle in U.S. soccer. High school, college, we see the clock going down on the big scoreboard. U.S. soccer, that's not the case. It's when the referee says when the game is over. Apple Watch is fine as long as it stays charged. It's when the referee says the game is over. You are extending the game because there's a player on a breakaway, and you're going to let this play end, right? And your watch beeps to end the half. You don't want that, right? So you want the watch to count up. We've talked about being the AR, and we're going to be focusing on the AR tonight. If I know I'm going to this field and I only am going to be assigned ARs, do I need to have my whistle and my watch on me? What do you think? Yeah, you do. Do I need to start my watch? So, soccer players, like I said, you're playing on the team, you play 2 halves, maybe 4 halves in the day. Soccer referees, let's assume they're halves, and you're doing 5 games in a day, that's 10 halves. If there's quarters, that's even more. I can almost guarantee you at one of those quarters, the referee is going to come by and say, hey, what time do you have? I forgot to start my watch. And remember, we're a team too. So yeah, you have your watch on also. You start it the same way the referee starts it. It's not going to be obviously exact, but you're in the ballpark, right? So you have that. You also have your whistle. You have your data wallet. You have everything that you would need to referee the game. If the referee gets hurt and you have to assume the responsibility of refereeing, you're ready to go. So questions on that. 2 whistles, different pitch, a watch, recommend 2 watches. And do we ever stop the time? Do we ever stop the clock in our game? No, we don't. Those other leagues I was just talking about, sometimes they do. In ours, we don't. So maybe that second watch is keeping your injury time or your delay for the lightning or something like that. You're prepared. Okay. And then also, we're going to talk about professionalism as we go on throughout the course of the evening. This picture in the bottom right, notice that the socks are pulled up all the way, the shirts are tucked in. Let's say you are a brand new referee. Maybe if you're 15, I'm not picking on you, but let's say you're 15 and you're coming out to the field and you run into me as the coach. And I've been coaching since 1990. I got the gray hair and everything else like that. And you walk out onto the field and your shirt's not tucked in. Maybe your badge, don't need them all, maybe your badge is crooked. Maybe your socks aren't pulled up around your ankles. Do you think you're going to have any credibility with me? And you haven't even opened your mouth yet. Okay, so look the part. It's your field. You're in charge there, not me. So look the part. Look professional when you go out on the field. Okay. In the chat, put some of the things that you think assistant referees can call. Assistant referees, what are some of the things that they can call? See, offside, yeah, for sure offside. Corner kick, yeah. Penalty kick, of course. We saw the signal earlier. Out of bounds, throw-ins, yes. So what else we have here? A corner, yep. How about a goal? Can we call a goal? Can we call a foul? Yeah, we can call pretty much all the same things that the referee can call. So for the next little bit of class here, we're going to determine, go over the signals on how to call those things. We can definitely do that. There's one thing. I'm going to show that soccer field that we saw a minute ago. I'm just making sure that no one has mentioned it. No, they haven't. Okay, good. Okay, so here we have this soccer field. Now we're going to refer back to this several times throughout the course of the night here. We need to use a little imagination. But let's say that the assistant referee runs from midfield to the goal line on this side of the field and from midfield to the goal line on this side of the field. The referee runs in those other areas. So you'll hear the term the referee diagonal. The referee's diagonal. It's roughly down here to roughly up here. We'll go over that again in a little bit, but let's say that there is a foul that was committed by the defense right over here. And so this foul is coming in. and we need to set the wall. Which is the better thing to do? The referee, who runs like this, to come all the way over here, mark off our 10 yards and get back, or have the assistant referee, who's standing right here, come on the field, mark it off, and get back. Remember, we're a team, right? Yeah, have the AR do it. Now, this is going to be something you're going to want to talk about in the pregame. To make sure that we're all on the same page. Because obviously, if the AR comes out to do it, the referee's going to want to hold the kick till the AR gets back on the sideline, right? So you just want to talk through that process. But if we go back over to the PowerPoint, we've talked about all of these you mentioned in the chat. No one mentioned this. And when you see this, managing the wall, that's what they're talking about. Am I doing this if the wall is out here? There probably wouldn't be a wall out here, but there might be a wall here or a wall over here. No, I'm doing this in the assistant referee's quadrant. And what I mean by quadrant, your area. Like if this is the referee's area, this is the referee's area. Now, this is kind of like the assistant referee's area. This is the assistant referee's area. So if you hear the term of this AR's quadrant, that's what they're talking about. And in your quadrant, that's where you would want to help out with this. So, okay, let's go back. In the chat, which of these are out of play? Just D. Yeah, Drake, just D. D is the only one that's out of play. Now, back on our soccer field, what happens if that's this line? Which of these is a goal? Only D. That's right. Only D is the goal. Who has to make that call to see if that ball's crossed that line? Can the AR make a credible call from somewhere up here? If that's a close call, and we're going to see some clips where we have really close calls, no, we can't. You have to run as an AR. In fact, you might have to run more than the referee. When we do this class outside, we actually just did one in Holly Springs, and I was working with the ARs, and we ran for 30 seconds nonstop. It's exhausting just trying to keep even with your offside, to make that offside call, or to make sure you're staying with the ball to make that call. Yeah, the AR needs to be right here to make that call. Can't be up here. You're going to get yelled at if it's close. AR, there's no way you could have seen that. And this is a small field, but to give you an idea, that's 18 yards right there. So good. All right, good. So everyone knows what we need to do. It's hard to do it, but we know what we need to do. All right, so that old gold that we don't want to see anymore, there it is. That's also the old black, old blue, and old red. We don't want to use these uniforms, and they are still out there, so don't buy them. These clips are one of three types of clips. One, they're provided by US Soccer. Two, they're from this class when we hold it outside. Or three, they're clips that I've added from MLS that show what we're talking about. And for the whole rest of the class, we're going to be using clips. These first few clips are showing us how we make the signals. But there are going to be some things I'd like for you to look for in addition to how we make the signals. In particular, over these first three clips, notice the hand that the flag is in when the assistant referee is running. So the first clip is for a throw-in. Let's watch, and then we'll talk about it.
In all signals where the flag is held with a single hand, the flag should be an extension of the arm, no matter the angle. The signal for a throw-in is similar to that given by the referee. The arm is raised at a 45-degree angle while holding the flag. As with the referee, the assistant referee holds the flag in the arm appropriate to which team will have possession of the ball on the restart. For example, if the throw-in is awarded to the team attacking the goal to the assistant referee's right, then the right arm would be used to signal.
Everybody knows kind of a throw-in. There it is, right? The throw-in. But you heard what they said, an extension of the arm. And we saw with the clip with the referee on the side of the field doing it earlier. So, based on that, Is that right? Is that right? Hang on. That right? No. Extension of the arm at a 45-degree angle. How do you make sure that your flag is straight out like that at an angle and not cocked back or forward or in the right location? This is an experience tip here. Put your finger along the shaft of the flag. And we saw that with the assistant referee at the very beginning of the class tonight running. Had it right along the shaft of the flag. And then that way, wherever you point your finger, that's where the flag is going. It's hard to see here on this zoom. The other thing that this does is it keeps the flag from getting all tangled up around your hand. Just by keeping that finger there because you're holding the flag down. And believe it or not, we have a clip later where that's not happening. And you'll see just how distracting it is. But just keep it right out along the shaft of the flag. Point your finger, that part we can see, in the direction you're going, and your flag will go that direction. That's how you do a throw in. Let's jump back over. Oh, hang on. Let's talk about goal kick. And again, remember what I said.
While facing the
flag
field,
hand.
the assistant referee uses the right hand to hold the flag straight outward toward the center of the field. The flag is lowered as soon as it is clear that the referee has seen and accepts the signal. At this point, the flag is shifted back to the left hand.
Okay, so we pretty much know how to make a goal kick signal too, right? Throw in, goal kick, those are pretty easy to make. But did you notice what hand the assistant referee is running
While facing
with
the field,
in?
the assistant referee uses the...
It's in his left hand, right, as he's running downfield. So why is it in his left hand? It's field side, Kyle says. Yeah, but who is he assisting? Who is the assistant referee assisting? The referee, right? Yeah. So the referee can see the flag with the flag on the field side of the assistant referee. Right. So you keep it field side, left hand here. But
right hand to hold the flag straight outward toward...
Now we switch. Why do you think we switch to the other hand here? We just talked about keeping it in that left hand, running down the field, but now we switch, and there's a reason we do it. So it's because it's closer. So good try. You are the referee. I am the assistant referee. I am running downfield. I've got the flag in my left hand. We're a team, right? I've got my flag in the left hand. I'm going to make a goal kick signal. And I turn and I signal with the flag in my left hand. Can you and I make eye contact? In my right hand, we can see each other. Because we're a team, we are going to look at each other before we make any signal. Unless the referee has decided, okay, we have a corner kick and the referee is going to signal corner kick. Otherwise, we're probably going to look at each other and make sure we're on the same page. In the left hand, we can't do that. In the right hand, we can. So that is why it switches. And then you heard the commentator say, and then it goes back to the left hand. Back at the beginning of class, when the assistant referee was standing there doing nothing, flag was in the left hand. If you're left-handed, that's going to be real easy. If you're right-handed, it's going to take some getting used to get the flag into the left hand. So let's go back to the presentation and we'll talk about it some more. So I'll play that one again, just so we can see it.
While facing the field, the assistant referee uses the right hand to hold the flag straight outward toward the center of the field. The flag is lowered as soon as it is clear that the referee has seen and accepts the signal. At this point, the flag is shifted back to the left hand.
Questions on that? Let's keep going. Now we're going to talk about goals how we signal them, and then one of the most annoying, lazy AR traits that we don't want to emulate.
The assistant referee indicates that a goal has been legally scored by stopping and making eye contact with the referee. Once eye contact is made, the assistant referee simply begins to move up the field toward the halfway line. If the goal should not be counted because the scorer had committed an offside violation, the assistant referee should stop and, after making eye contact with the referee, proceed to give the standard signal for an offside offense.
So, I don't care about the offside part of that clip. What do you think is my pet peeve with ARs on signaling goals based on what they're supposed to do? Just take a stab at it. Eye contact is very important. You're right. I definitely want to make eye contact. Ah, they don't move at all, said Josh. Or Jonah, I'm sorry. You're right. It says that we are supposed to run back up field as the assistant referee after if we have a good goal. Now, how far do we go back up field? Like 6 yards or so. The book says 20 meters. That's out here somewhere. You don't need to go that far up. Turn and run back up field. Because if you don't, we're going to skip through all this. Hang on. What's he calling here? Believe it or not, we don't know, right? That's his lazy AR goal. We have no idea what he's calling there. He's just standing there. That's why it is so important to turn and jog upfield. So there's a great analogy of your cell phone when you're downloading information or you're downloading a video or something on your cell phone and it's taking forever to download, and you look and you've got one bar. Okay, it just takes forever. Your signals as the AR are like the information you're trying to download on your phone. If it takes forever for the referee to get it, that's really frustrating, right? You want that information quick. Lousy signals like this, you can't get that information to the referee. And remember, we're a team. So, Jonah, you were right. Not moving. Turn, jog back upfield. And like I said, really? Hang on. Really? Just turn and jog back up till you get to the top of the 6. But make the effort. And everybody else, you said, correct. First thing you do, you turn and look at the referee. If you're the assistant referee, what I recommend is just shake your head yes. Like you have a good goal. If you don't have a good goal, obviously don't do that. Then you stand there. But if you do have a good goal, shake your head yes, turn and jog back upfield. Questions on that part? Because I'm going to say there's one time we don't do this next, but I want to make sure everyone knows the correct procedure for indicating a regular goal. Okay, what happens if it is, and where my cursor is, the ball just crossed the line, not even as far as D, this is just over, and maybe the keeper doesn't even realize it's a goal, and the keeper grabs it and sends it back upfield. Okay, that's the scenario we have here. Nobody knows it was a goal except for you, because you are standing right here in great position to make the call. You know this ball crossed the line. Nobody else in the entire field does. If you turn and jog back upfield like they do in this clip, it looks like you're following play. But you have a goal. You're signaling it's a goal. No one knows you're signaling it's a goal because it looks like you're just following the play. The ball went back upfield. I guess the assistant referee is following the play. So this is one time where the regular goal signal will fail. So we have to do something in addition to the goal signal. Any ideas? We need to get the referee's attention. And you're right, Kyle. We can't blow the whistle as the AR. Okay, you're right. We're going to use the flag, and there is a signal that is kind of a catch-all for everything to get the referee's attention, where we don't have another signal for it. And it's actually the same signal as the first part to offside. You take the flag and straight up in the right hand. Now, I saw a couple wave the flags. No, waving the flag indicates that you're calling a foul, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Straight up, right hand. Now, here's how this would probably normally play out. And again, it's only for stuff that just crosses the line. If it goes in the back of the net, everyone knows it's a goal. You don't need to do this. This is for one of those ones where it's close. Straight up. Referee's going to blow her whistle. Everyone's going to look at the referee. Keep your flag straight up still, because everyone's going to look at the referee and they're going to see she's looking at you. So the eye contact will kind of follow over to you. Everyone will see that you're in position to make the call. Then you bring your flag down and then you jog back upfield. Okay, so yes, to get the referee's attention for something other than anything we have a signal for, it's straight up. Okay, no waving, just straight up. This could be for a throw-in too. What happens if this ball, is in the middle of the air and it does one of these things and goes right back into play? Same thing. But in our case, it's much more significant. It's a goal. And again, not for every goal, just for ones that are close. So how does that look in real life? Let's watch this clip.
The final 5 minutes plus change as Houston are searching for an equaliser, which they have got. Have they? Flag got up on the far side.
Stop it right there.
The referee is looking. He's given it. And Houston are level. 5 minutes to play.
Wonderful intent and all for Simpson's coming on. It's been a problem to deal with. This on a set piece doesn't cross the line. There's little argument from Jimmy Mara. It's a wonderful flicked on header at the near post into that far end. It didn't look as though it's just barely gone across the line.
That is when you would use that flag. Straight up like that. Otherwise, you just turn, jog back upfield. Any questions on that? All right, so this next one is about substitutions. And believe it or not, it's the longest clip we have. How can it be hard? Substitutions. Let's watch the clip and then we'll talk about it.
To indicate that a valid substitution request has been made at a stoppage, the assistant referee holds the flag between the hands above the head until the referee acknowledges the request by allowing the substitution to occur. Once the referee allows the substitution to proceed, the flag is lowered to the side and no further signal is needed. However, it is common for referees to include in the pregame discussion some preferred method for the assistant referee to indicate that a substitution process is completed and play can be restarted. This is often desirable in matches where the local rules of competition allow unlimited substitutions and for substituted players to return to the field. Occasionally, an assistant referee signal is not seen by the referee because his or her attention is directed somewhere else. When this happens, the other assistant referee should mirror the same signal to help the referee become aware and then direct the referee's attention to the original signaler. For example, a substitution is signaled by the assistant referee on the opposite side of the field from where the referee is looking. In this case, the other assistant referee gives the substitution signal, which is more readily seen since it is in view of the referee, and the assistant referee then points across the field to indicate that a signal is being given there of which the referee needs to be aware.
There's a lot there for substitution. How come it's so long? So let's talk about that. First of all, we know from earlier this is not correct, right? All the way up over your head, and I'll bring it back down here between your palms. Now, I've got it all the way up over my head. It's between my palms, exactly like it's supposed to be. The referee has acknowledged that we have a substitution. Do I leave my flag up here? So I see a couple no's, and the answer is no, I don't. I bring the flag down back into my left hand. Am I done as the assistant referee for this substitution? What do you think? So I brought my flag down and the substitution is taking place. No, I'm not done. I have to help facilitate the sub because remember, we're a team too. Exactly. So no, we're not done. So what are we doing? We're making sure that the team doesn't play with too many players. Can they play short? Yeah, they can play short. They just can't play with too many. Now, here's the thing. It might earn you a call later with the coach. If they're playing short and you see, okay, they've only got 10 out there. Hey, coach, you can put one more on. That's okay, ref. We're going to play down. Fine. You just help the coach out, and hopefully that'll maybe gain you a call a little bit later on in the game when there's something close. But no, we're not done. We need to make sure that the right amount of players are on the field. Now, once we are done, we need to let the referee know we're done. Now, how can you do that? There's no signal for that. That's something you're going to talk about in the pregame. Maybe a thumbs up, maybe just a nod. Something like that is what you'd want to do. Now, there's a whole second part of that clip. And I'm going to share my screen and pull up that soccer field again. It's a windy day. And there's a really good team and a really weak team. We've all had, well, you will have one of those games. Okay? So the play is constantly down at this side of the field because the attacking team is going that way, and that's the same direction that the wind is going. Problem is, Matthew's over here, and he is trying to get a sub in. Flag up, right? He's waiting. A good referee looks at his or her assistant referees at every stoppage, especially the ones that are manning the benches. Every stoppage. But for whatever reason, this assistant referee didn't see. So Carson's running this side. Carson can put her flag up for a substitution. Why? Because there's a better chance that the referee sees Carson, especially with play being down here this whole time because of the wind and the really weak team. And then the referee will stop the game. And then Carson can point over to Matthew. And again, we're a team. So they talk about that. They call it something called mirroring. And that's, if you hear that term, that's what they're talking about. One referee mirrors the other referee to get the referee's attention. Or the assistant referee mirrors the other assistant referee to get the referee's attention. Any questions on mirroring or substitutions? Because what's next? The thing, the main responsibility for the assistant referee is offside. And notice there, oh, you can't see it under the play. There is no S with offside. Offside, off your side of the field. In soccer, there's no S. Before we get to offside, I'm just going to play this clip here. And all it is the assistant referee running. I'm going to play another clip later. But just look at how the assistant referee is running. Sidestepping. He'll be running up and down the field. Notice where the flag is being held the whole time.
While moving, the flag is kept straight down to the side of the assistant referee, regardless of which hand is holding the flag. Even while running, the flag should not be pumped or swung back and forth in rhythm with the run. The non-flag arm should be allowed to move naturally with the running motion.
Okay, so that's just an idea. And then later on, I've got a clip of a referee running, or an assistant referee running in an MLS game, and you see all the different movement that we have to make. So, okay, now let's start talking about offside. We're going to spend most of the rest of the day talking about offside. First of all, we're not going to talk about why we call offside here. We're going to talk about how we call offside. So let's watch the clip and then we'll talk about it.
When play should be stopped for an offside violation, the assistant referee indicates this information to the referee by initially raising the flag straight upward in the right hand. This signal is maintained until one of two things happens. First, and most commonly, eye contact is made with the referee who stops play. The assistant referee then points the flag across the field in one of three positions. Raised 45 degrees if the offense occurred in the far side of the field. Straight out if the offense occurred in the middle of the field. Or downward 45 degrees if the offense occurred in the near third of the field. Depending on the pregame discussion, the referee may have requested that the final step of the signal be held longer in cases where the restart location is unclear or disputed, so that the assistant referee's position on the touchline can serve as a marker for where the ball is to be placed.
How we call offside. We stop, we square to the field, meaning our hips are aligned with the field. You can use the line to even line up your toes if you need to. You want to make sure you're square to the field. That first part of the offside signal is the same signal we need to put up to get the referee's attention, because that's what we're doing here. Getting the referee's attention to stop the game. Up in the right hand. No waving. And then we wait. We don't signal the second part to this until the referee blows her whistle to indicate that we are stopping play. Once she does that, we do the second part of the signal in the right hand. Far, middle is just like the goal kick signal, or near, 45-degree angle down in front of you. And that's how we call offside. It's a pretty easy mechanic. It's a two-part call. The first part, we need to get the referee's attention, flag straight up. Second part is what part of the field that the offside took place. Now, the last clip is the one thing we haven't talked about yet, and that's how to call a foul. And we're not going to watch it because I'm going to show it to you instead. The clip is kind of confusing, so I'm going to stop my share and point down over this way a little bit. Okay, so I am running downfield, flag in the left hand, and I have offside. I stop, I square to the field, flag goes to the right hand, and I put it straight up. And the referee blows her whistle, far, middle, near. Fouls. Running downfield, flag in the left hand, and there's a foul that is against the defense. So that means the kick is going to go this way. I stop, square to the field, just like if I'm going to call offside. Flag goes to the right hand again. Flag straight up, and I'm going to bring the flag down so you can see it here. This time, I give a little wave. Just like that. Referee blows her whistle, and then I give the throw-in signal. Because really what it is a directional signal. But notice that the directional signal and the hand that I went up with are the same direction, same side of me. I went up with my right hand, I'm pointing that way. Now, what if the foul is going the other way? Running downfield, flag in the left hand, I stop, I square, I keep my flag in the left hand. I do the same mechanic. Flag goes all the way up above my head, up here. I'm holding it here so you can see. Same wave. Referee blows the whistle, and I point. Now, why does it matter what hand I'm going up with? Offside, it's always the right hand. Foul, if the foul's coming out, I'm going up with my left hand. If the foul's coming in, I'm going up with my right hand. Why do you think that matters? And I'll give you a clue. Team. So what do we think? the direction of the foul. What happens? Who gets to see? If I am going up with my right hand, the referee gets to see that before we actually stop play. The referee might be getting ready to yell advantage or might not want the foul. Going up with the right hand indicates the foul is going that direction. Going up with the left hand indicates the foul is going that direction. You're giving information to the referee. That's why it matters with the foul. Whichever hand you go up with, little wave. And that's how you call a foul. But there are a couple other similarities to offside, but there are a couple of differences too. Let's go back to our field. Offside takes place right here. The referee doesn't see it. 5 seconds go by, 10 seconds go by. Play keeps going. Play goes down here. In fact, the player goes in and scores a goal. Where am I as the assistant referee? Keep going with that, Daisy. Staying where? Yeah, Caitlin, you're staying with the offside. I'm standing up here still with my flag straight up in my right hand. Now, the good thing here is you're going to have half of the stadium yelling offside, 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 right? So you're going to have help, and you stay there. Now, the same thing happens, only this time instead of offside, it's a foul on the attacker. So it's a foul against the guy coming in. The referee doesn't see it. 3, 4, 5 seconds. The attacker keeps going. In fact, the attacker comes down, shoots, and scores. Where am I as the AR? There must be something different about this or I wouldn't ask it, right? What do you think? Okay, I'm seeing the chat. So if there is an offside that the referee misses, you stay there until one of 3 things happens. The referee acknowledges it. The referee waves you down for some reason, which would be okay. It's the referee's prerogative. Or the ball goes all the way back upfield. It would penalize the defense to bring it back for the offside. Otherwise, you stay there. If there is a foul that the referee misses, after 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, get back in position. So, in our case, and we're going to learn about where the assistant referee stands, the assistant referee is going to stand even with the second to last opponent or the ball, whichever is closest to this goal line. So, we're standing up here for the foul. The referee doesn't see it. After about 3 or 4 seconds, we get back into position, which is either even with the second to last opponent or the ball, whichever is closest to the goal line. Now, in our case, I said they scored a goal. Do you have a good goal there? I mean, we just called a foul. You called a foul on this guy. The referee didn't see. And now he's down here and scored. So if you don't have a good goal, this is the time where you don't turn and jog back upfield. This is the time where you either stand at attention or you put that flag up to call the referee over. Either way, you call the referee over and you give the referee information. Okay, that guy just scored. I called a foul on him 10 seconds ago that we didn't see. You didn't see. I'm giving you the information. Now the referee can decide, all right, are we going to go back and award the foul or do we have a good goal? You're the assistant referee. You're giving the information to the referee. Let the referee make the final decision. Questions on that? So fouls, how we call fouls, how we call offside, when we leave the offside position versus when we leave after a foul if the referee doesn't see it. All right. Let us keep going.
The final 5 minutes plus 1.
Hang on. Okay. In North Carolina, we are spoiled by the level of referees that we have here. This online class, we developed it during the pandemic and took it national. Everyone was doing it. In the middle here, this guy in black, his name is Mark. He is the Triangle High School assigners for referees, but his other job is to find new officials and get them to pro. And he lives in Durham. These four guys, all pro level referees. So I say all that to say, if you hear of classes that are being offered or anything like that, take advantage, because the level of training that you're going to get isn't available other places. And what's going to happen here is Mark is just going to tell the four guys, go ahead and make the calls, he's going to say. Okay, so they're just going to walk through the signals that we've talked about. But two things happen. One, Forrest up front here is going to make a mistake. You're going to know when he makes the mistake because they all kind of chuckle. Here they are on film training referees and they make a mistake. It happens. But notice how he corrects the mistake. And also notice what's going on with Blake's flag throughout the course of the video. So I'll play it and then we will talk about it.
For this exercise, we're going to go over your flag mechanics. Every time you hear the whistle, I'm going to tell you what to do and I want you to do it. So for instance, and I want you to do it when I blow the whistle, if I say substitute, do it. Good. All right, relax. And here we go. Throw. Good. Goal kick. Good. Corner kick. Good. Offside, far side. Good. Goal kick. Good. Foul pointing at me. Good. Offside, near side. Good. Foul pointing away from me. Good. Sub. Good. Offside, central.
So we'll start with Forrest here. Did anybody know what happened? What he did wrong? Wrong hand on the foul, right? He went up with the wrong hand. It's going to happen to everybody. But did you notice how he corrected it? And that's the important part here. Everyone's going to make a mistake. He went in front of his body. So the foul was supposed to be in the left hand. It's in his right hand, and he goes in the right hand. He didn't do this. Like you're directing airplanes here. This brings attention to yourself, right? This in front is not bringing nearly as much attention to yourself. So he quickly switched hands, right, as said in the chat, but he didn't bring it over his head. He brought it down in front of his body, which is the correct way to correct yourself. Okay, again, it's another little experience thing. Ref, you had it right the first time. Everyone sees this. Okay, you don't want to hear that, right? So you can try to hide it a little by coming in front. But everyone makes a mistake. Don't worry about that. Now, what about what was going on with Blake's hand here? Anyone ever notice what's going on with this flag? Constantly getting it tangled. His mechanics were not good, were they? And you know why? Oh. His finger wasn't on the shaft of the flag. And this is in a gym. Imagine if this was on a soccer field on a breezy day. That's why you do that. And there's a perfect example of it. Any other questions that you saw there that we want to talk about? Okay. One other thing I'm going to say, I'm going to skip over these clips, but I do want to talk about, we're talking about practicing here, practicing our mechanics. Don't let the first time you make these signals be on the side of the field in your first game. Think about that. You don't need to be worrying how you call offside. You need to be worrying why you call offside. Now, part of that will come over time. But before your first game, go in the backyard and think of everything you could have to call and how you'd call it. So you're not worrying again on how you make the signal when you get out there. You just know, okay, that's a throw-in. I'm going to signal this way. That's a foul going in. I'm going to give my wave. Referee's going to blow her whistle. I'm going to point that way. So practice before you get out on the field. All right. We've talked a little bit about offside. We know now that the assistant referee's position is going to be with either the second to last opponent or the ball, whichever is closest to the goal line. That's where we stand on our half of the field. All the time, that's where we stand. Now, I'm going to play this clip as we start walking into learning why we call offside. And let's look at this assistant referees. I'm going to pause it first. It's by the way, it's a video of still images, so don't worry if it's not moving. What about the flag? What do we think about the AR's flag? Yeah, it's in the wrong hand. He's given great signals to these parents. That is really good service from the AR, right? Fans need to be pleased, but it's in the wrong hand. It is. It's supposed to be in the other hand. What about where he's standing? No, he's not even with the second to last defender. He's a ways off, right? He's doing what we all want to do when we go to a soccer game. Watch the game, right? So he's looking downfield. He's ball watching, but he's not seeing what's going on, and he's not going to be ready if he needs to make a call. Now, we can look at this player and learn a lot about what's going on downfield. Think about it. If this guy starts going over to the far side of the field, where's play? It's over on the far side of the field. If he starts dropping back toward us, okay, his team's probably lost possession at that point, right? But we need to be here when we are watching. Even though the play is going on downfield, we need to be even with that second to last defender. Now, there is a time that we are looking downfield. Back over on our soccer field. Let's say he was standing right about here. What happens if the ball is down in here somewhere? We're a team, right? I need to help the referee to let that referee know if the ball's going out of bounds. So you'll hear the expression for the assistant referee, head on a swivel. What that means, I'm looking downfield. I look back at my second to last opponent, looking downfield, back. So you're ready. You can make the call if it's down here, but you're also staying even with your second to last to make sure that you're ready for that kick when it comes the other way. In this case, I mean, there's no attacker. The attacker's all the way up here. We're not going to really have a problem, right? But what happens if that attacker was standing right here? And all of a sudden there's a long ball. We're going to be in trouble because we're not going to be in a position to make the call. So avoid that ball watching. Sorry. Now, we're going to talk more about offside and why we call it. Oh, I do want to show one other clip first. I talked about watching referee movement. This is a series of clips, so there are a couple of edits, jump cuts, but just watch the AR in the AR movement here. Sidestepping, sprinting, sidestepping, staying with the second class or the ball.
Chicago affords him here. Lawani just absolutely clinical. It's a little give and go. It's Fragapane trying to find Reynoso. What a hit this is from Arriaga. They get a little bit deep. Sheehoes wins it again. He's won so many headers since the restart.
So a lot of movement by the AR. Staying even with that second to last opponent or the ball, whichever is closest to the goal line. Now that we've done that, I'm going to go to this slide, and I will send you this slide in my follow-up email. If an opponent is closer to the opponent's goal line than either the ball or the second to last of the opponents, he's on the other side of the field, he is in an offside position. Notice I did not say that he's offside. You can be in an offside position and not be called offside. Now, if he is closer to the goal line than either the second to last opponent or the ball, and when it's last intentionally played by his teammate, he interferes with play, he interferes with an opponent, or he gains an advantage from being there, that is when we call offside. So a player can be in an offside position and not be offside. If a player's in an offside position when the ball's last intentionally played by his teammate and does one of these three things, then he's offside. Now, I didn't bring up one thing. Hang on one second. We're going to run to my desktop because I have a Photoshop document here that will help us. Where did I put it? Probably looking right at it. Oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong thing yet. Here we go. Now, the first thing when this comes up, we will see that the referee crew did not communicate because we have one in black and two in yellow. We don't want to do that. We want to all be in the same color. We have two attackers, they're in this reddish crimson color, two defenders in blue, and we have a goalie here in orange. I'm going to describe some plays. In the chat, you tell me offside, not offside. Okay? First one's pretty straightforward. This attacker plays it to this attacker. Yeah, it's offside. When it's last intentionally played by a teammate, he is nearer to the goal line than either the second to last opponent or the ball, and he gains an advantage from being there. Exactly. Offside. This attacker shoots the ball on goal, and it goes right in the net. What do you think? So I see a couple offside and quite a few not offside. So let's talk about, first of all, is he in an offside position? We all agree he's in an offside position. Exactly. Is he gaining an advantage by being there? Probably not, right? He's just standing there. Is he interfering with play? No, he's just standing there, right? So, okay, so that's two things for not being offside. Is he interfering with an opponent by standing there? So our offside people are saying yes. So who is he interfering with by standing there? Yeah, the keeper can't see the shot. This is offside. Okay, because the keeper can't see the shot, he is interfering with this opponent, blocking the line of vision of the keeper. Okay, by the way, these are going to get harder as we go. But I haven't said this yet. This is a learning class tonight. If you're not sure, ask questions. Better ask them here, right, than in the middle of the game when everyone's yelling at you. Because you can make a lot of money, but you're going to get yelled at too. So no one's ever going to make 100% of the calls correctly. So, like I said, ask questions. All right. Attacker shoots the ball on goal. It hits off the goal post and goes right to the other attacker. We have offside. What do you think? A couple offside? Yeah, when it was last intentionally played by a teammate, he is definitely gaining an advantage by being there at this point, right? Good. All right, same thing, only this time it deflects off the keeper and goes right to the attacker. So not off the post, this is off the keeper. Uh-oh, we've got several onside, several offside. Good. We've got two ways to think about this here. Notice that on our chart, gaining an advantage by being there off of a save. If that's the case, this is still offside. Okay, because he gains an advantage from being there. All right. Attacker plays it to the other attacker, who shoots and scores. Do we have offside? I see majority knows. I've changed my terminology. This is the first class I've changed it. I used to say second to last defender. But the problem is that could be the goalie. So defender, you think defender. Goalie, you think goalie. So I've changed the terminology to say the second to last opponent, because that's what it is. It's the second to last opponent. In our case, the second to last opponent is the goalie. So this attacker is in an offside position when it's last intentionally played by his teammate, and he gains an advantage. He's interfering with play. So it's offside. So instead of thinking second to last defender, think second to last opponent. That kind of negates that whole keeper versus defender thing. It's second to last opponent. So with that in mind, shot on goal, bounces off this defender, goes right to the attacker. Do we have offside? Yeah. When we think about it like that, that makes it a lot easier, right? Second to last opponent is the goalie up here. This spreadsheet never said save by the keeper. It just said save. Doesn't have to be the keeper there. So those are a little more obscure, but they could happen. All right, let's put everybody back in position for these next couple. Keeper's back in goal. Defender's back out. I'm going to choose my words here carefully to try to give you some clues to this next one. Attacker shoots on goal. The defender, standing right in front of the attacker, reacts to the ball coming at him. It deflects off of him and goes to the other attacker. Do we have offside? We do. So in this scenario, there is no denying that the ball hits the defender. Okay? No one's denying that. But it is a deflection. It is not a deliberate play by the defender. This gets really, really hard. So how can we figure out if this is a deflection or a deliberate play by the defender? So I gave some clues there. I said the defender standing directly in front of the attacker, the distance to the ball when it's played, reacts to the ball coming at him. Action is a deliberate play. Reaction is a deflection. And then the other two are a little harder. And I said the ball deflects off him. I said deflect in the scenario, so that helps too. But the other two criteria, a little harder. One is the skill set of the players. If this is recreation, it's probably going to be a deflection. Even if the guy's standing here, it probably still would be a deflection. If it's MLS Next Pro, and then the other one is the age of the players. U12, probably going to be a deflection. U19 or something higher, you have to take all the criteria into consideration. So that is this part here. If it is a deflection, it is offside. If it is a deliberate play, then it is onside. We'll have a clip to go over that here in a minute. Questions so far? Where do we start learning all this? At U12. That's why this clip is here. Obviously, we're ball watching, but this is where we start learning it, because we keep honing our skill. We're going to advance and get those other badges, and eventually something like this could happen. And I'm going to pause this to say, never listen to the announcers because they have no idea what they're talking about. With one exception in here, this announcer says something, and I'll tell you what it is, but let's play the clip.
It is really, really tight.
So, first of all, talking about work ethic of the AR. Look where the AR is. Pretty good position, right? Even with those second to last defenders. Now, this is probably the hardest call the AR can make, and we're not going to have video replay. Why? Because he's got to look through all of these other players to see when the ball's played and where the attacker is. But the AR is in good position. Now we have to go through our criteria here. Is the player closer to the opponent's goal than either the second to last opponent or the ball? That's the first thing we have to think about. If he is, when it's last intentionally played by his teammate, and he interferes with play, interferes with an opponent, or gains an advantage from being there, he is offside. Now, what part of the body can we use to judge offside? What do you think? So I see a couple of any's. Anything, yes, that you can score with. So I see Matthew said everything but the arms. You can't score with the arm. Can't score with the hand. You don't use that as a consideration for offside. But if you can score with it, you use it. Now, all that being said, and keeping in mind, we don't really, it's a good angle, but it's not the best angle. The AR has got the best angle. What do you think here? Offside? Onside? It's close, right? It's definitely, we all can agree it's close. Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm going to play the clip and listen to what the AR said, or the AR says. Listen to what the announcer says here.
Yeah, it's very, very tight as it's played. I think he might have just gone. Do you? Yeah, I agree with you there, Dave. I think he's just a fraction off. I think in real time, he's onside, but I think when you really slow it down, it looks a fraction off.
I think in real time, he's onside, but when you slow it down, it's a fraction off. We are not going to be able to slow it down with VAR. If you are not sure, keep the flag down. Okay, that's the important part. There's a whole concept, if you're interested, called flash lag. And it just essentially says that we can't process what we see fast enough. We're like a half a second behind. And there are great clips on that. Look it up if you're interested. But if you're not sure, keep the flag down. Okay, any questions on that? All right, let's keep going. And, by the way, what if it hits this flag? Is that out of bounds or is that in play still? It is in play. Hits off the flag, it is still in play. Okay, the only thing out in this clip is this one, and we know about D. We're going to get more into this here in just a minute. However, now is the participation time where I am going to call on you and you tell me if you think it is offside or not. And I'm going to tell you, these are not hard. I'm not going to put you in a position where it's a really hard clip. Now, how do you tell? You are going to see the frame stop. I'm going to stop the image. Okay? And that's how you tell. Take a mental snapshot in your head when the ball is played. And if the player is in an offside position and meets those three criteria that we've been going over, it's easy. It's offside. Okay, so think about that. You'll see it here too as we go through these clips because I do stop them. So, Matthew, this first one is going to be for you.
Jean Palmer back for Harry Chip, cool delivery! Well, the offside flag had gone on. That might have saved the blushes of Jordan Morris because that was a gilt-edged opportunity.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Good ball from Harry.
And Matthew, if you want to just turn your mic on for this, I paused it here. Now, here's our mental snapshot. Ball's last intentionally played by a teammate. Do we have anybody in offside position?
Yeah, I would say 2 players.
Yeah, we do. And the one in question is Jordan Morris here. But you've already answered whether we're going to have offside. They're in an offside position when it's last intentionally played, and he plays it. So he's offside, right?
Yes.
Yep. So that's how you do it. Just like that.
But yeah, Jordan just in an offside position. And there's a reason. Defenders will let a guy go into that space. So he looked.
Okay. Adeline, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. You are next. Okay, let's look at this one.
Rodriguez. He's done well. Rossi ahead of him as Inter Miami appeal for offside. Well, he's not going to miss that. Mark Anthony Kay. He's given offside. It has been pulled back. As is the case these days, the assistants wait. An offside given. The AR will have a look at it.
This one's easy. What do you think, Adeline? Do we have a player in an offside position?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ball's last intentionally played by a teammate. He's going to get it and shoot and score. The offside?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, when you take that snapshot, it makes it pretty easy. Good
He's
job.
clearly off, isn't he?
It's only 2 yards. Can't believe he never put his flag up quick enough.
I think they knew.
I just, like I say, with Inter Miami.
Okay, Carson, you are next. Now, Carson, are you ready for a challenge? This one's a little bit harder. All right, I took the audio off. Pay close attention to what's going on here. Took the audio off for a reason. Okay. Gonna stop it there. Do we have a player in an offside position?
Yes.
We do. You're right. Is he offside?
No, because it was passed to him by the other team.
You got it. That's right. When it's last intentionally played by a teammate, the defender plays it back, you're good to go. Okay, that's a deliberate play. He made a mistake. It happens, but you're right. You got it right. Good job. That's why I didn't play the audio on that one, because everybody would know, oh, you know. So, okay, so Kyle, you have this next one. And we're going to skip this clip. We'll come back to it.
Maria lets it run on. Molino getting there, poking it. Ethan Finlay! Saved by Clark. The flag was up on Ethan Finlay.
Even though he's offside, that's a lot better for Minnesota. Good entry ball into Molino. He has a presence of mind to recognize the players around him. And Ethan Finlay, a darting run from out to in, coming in on the blind side a little bit there.
Those two guys very close friends from their time in Columbus.
So first of all, before you answer, Kyle, again, look at the work ethic of the AR. Dead on. Now, the ball's being played from right here from the teammate. Do we have a player in an offside position?
Yes.
Yeah, so he gets the ball. He's offside, right?
Take a look at it again. And he's just narrowly offside, but Molino does so well, shows some strength to hold up the defense.
So it really does help when we take the snapshot. Okay, Jonah, this one's for you.
Pick out a teammate because they're going to try and stop him.
Now Mark Anthony Cage looking to slip it through for Diego Rossi. Got there on Blake. The flag will come up. The call on the field is no goal for offside. It is reviewable because there was no whistle. But that's an assistant referee with World Cup experience, Corey Rockwell, stopping Diego Rossi's celebration. And there's a man down right now for Philadelphia as well as we take a look back.
Now, Jonah, we don't have the best angle here, but the ball's being played from right here based on what we can see. And also notice we can use the lines from the cut too. That's one little trick you can do. Do we have a player in an offside position?
Yes.
Yeah, and he gets the ball, and he shoots and scores. Diego Rossi, I think, in 2 of these clips is offside. So he's offside, right? Pretty straightforward. One thing to notice, and this is, again, one of those things that'll come in time. The AR is sprinting one way, but looking the other. That's something we're going to have to learn how to do too, because we need to see what's going on out over here. We can't be looking downfield. So, yeah, but you got it right. Good job.
Yeah, he's clearly off. It's a good call. That is a good call, but that...
Okay, let us keep going. Let's see, do we want to go to these?
Araujo.
Okay, we're going to go to this one next. Okay, so this one is going to be for Parker. Try to get it to play, Parker. There we go.
Shaqiri through, and perhaps an opening here for Gutierrez! In towards the centre forward, Julius Kutsias! It's exactly what Chicago Fire needed!
See, they find Shaqiri in space. And Schlegel steps across to follow Kutsias, which leaves it wide open for Gutierrez, who waits just...
Now, Parker, I'm going to pause it here. The first question is our player past the second to last defender? Second to last opponent?
Yeah.
He is, right? What's the other part of that, though? Or the ball, right? Second, he's definitely past the second to last opponent, but is he in front of the ball?
Yeah.
And if he's in front of the ball, is he offside?
Yes.
He is. And the announcers finally catch on. As we play through, you'll hear.
Patient enough just to touch it with the outside of his right foot to draw Gillespie out for the easy tap in for Kutsias. But this pass was perfect right into Gutierrez, who just waits, so patient, those tiny touches. Just draws out Gillespie for the easy tap in for Kutsias.
On first viewing, Kalen, I must admit I thought it was tight.
Yeah, very tight. Does look just a step off there. It was ruled.
Yep, so Parker, you got it right. But this is a case where we're not worried about the second to last opponent because we're definitely past them. We have to look at this ball. So good job. Okay, Maya, you are up next. Actually, I'm going to show this clip and then we'll go to Maya's clip.
Morgan working on Monterita, got a cross into the middle. Brachet, chance for his second, and he puts it in. It took a deflection there. The flag does come up.
The place.
First of all, look at our work ethic by the AR, right where he needs to be. Can you be offside if you're off the field? Because he's off the field, right? So the answer is if he's interfering with the opponent, yeah. But in this case, most of them is in the goal. But the one part of him that is not in the goal is where the ball hits.
There's a lot of space on the right-hand side, and you see
Gonzalo is lying in the
net. Yeah.
And it hit him. That thing
off his heel. That would have been in the back
like
of the
it
net.
was going
So
wide.
what do you think, Maya? Is that offside?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It could happen. You have to be ready for those types of things.
From our angle, or it was going to be very...
Good job. Okay, Mason, this next one is for you.
Slides one through to Brian White. Dropping for Anakubi. Anakubi now a chance to cross it. Off a body, still alive. There's it. Raposo! But the flag is in the air. That close to the tying marker.
And that might be the end of it there. As the ball comes across here, it's Anakubi who makes a nice move to get his...
So what do you think, Mason? Ball's being played last intentionally by a teammate. The guy in question's here.
I think so.
Yeah, he's offside, right? You can't, as an attacker, leave the field and then come back on and play the ball. And that's what happens here.
Last ball in, and then White coming off the field to plays it back in. That's a clear offside.
Okay, I've got three others. Two of them I haven't even added to the presentation yet. I just downloaded them this weekend. So let us, hang on, let's bring these into the timeline here. And Daisy, you get a brand new clip. And let's put this at full speed.
Moving, touches it along. Betcher brings it down. Saved by Willis. And the follow-up is put in. Song Bin with the final touch in his first goal in a City kit. Wow, 3-0 to the home side.
Coming in with a...
So we have two potential offside shouts here. Daisy, the first one is right here. Do we have any players in an offside position?
No.
No, so not offside yet.
Coming in with a vengeance and a purpose.
Okay, second chance. Right here, do we have any players in an offside position?
No.
Okay, good. And the keeper makes the save. Let's keep going.
And you see...
And what about there?
No.
Okay.
Palacios there and Willis. Everybody's just grabbing...
You're right. No offside. Even with the second to last opponent is not offside. So good job. Okay, Amber, you get the other brand new clip.
Review.
Hang on.
Chance to hit this potentially. McGlynn sizing it up. Saved by Rick. Rebound. Ponce saved by Rick. Double save. Flag is up for offside. He gave the
Last intentionally played by a teammate. Do we have an offside player?
Yeah.
And it hits off the goalie.
First fake. Nobody else closed down with them.
So a lot of us, when we were going through those scenarios before, when I had Photoshop open, a lot of us said this wasn't offside. This is a real life example where it really is offside.
That ball is moving. Rick saw it the whole.
Good job. All right, so this next clip, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot for, but I call it the best clip ever made because it talks about everything that we have had so far and an extra thing. So I'm going to play it in the chat. Tell me if you think it's offside or not.
Out of Ujo. It's Cisneros. Now the question is, what contact was made, and was it made by a player in an offside position once Cisneros had sent it goalwards? So what impact does Joseph Martinez have in front of Stephen Fry? Great ball here from the 17-year-old homegrown Caleb Wiley. And this ball pops forward to Cisneros, but when that ball is hit, does Joseph Martinez play any part with that deflection off of Nuhu? I think this one may be reviewed.
What do we think? I see several onside. So let's talk about this. This is why this is the best clip ever made. And the announcer Taylor Twellman got it right. It might be reviewed. It was reviewed.
Out of Ujo.
Okay. When the ball was last intentionally played by a teammate, Joseph Martinez is standing in front of Stefan Fry right here. Okay? We say, is he interfering with the opponent by doing that? He's interfering with the opponent, right? He's blocking his line of vision. But I saw a couple people say this defender. Now, we talked about it. Is this a deliberate play or is this a deflection? Well, we talked about our criteria. Distance, action versus reaction, skill, age. Is this a deliberate play? If it's a deliberate play, that negates this. So we have several saying offside, several saying onside. There's one more thing that we have not covered. Does anybody notice where a defender is? Yeah, the defender is off the field of play. Now, we just saw a clip where the attacker was off the field of play. The attacker came back on and was offside. The defender cannot leave the field of play in order to put somebody offside. But he's clearly off the field of play. So where is this defender for our purposes? For us, he is standing on the goal line. So where we are lined up right now, if this defender is standing on the goal line, who's the second to last defender? Who's the second to last opponent? The keeper is. Exactly. So none of this other stuff even matters, because the second to last opponent is the keeper. So this is why it's the best clip ever made. They did this specifically for me. They ran through this whole thing. For our purposes, though, if the defender is off the field to play, he's standing on the goal line. In which case, if he's standing on the goal line, the keeper is the second to last. Questions on that? I'm going to show one more clip before we move on to referee. Talking about work ethic. Okay, let's just watch this and then we'll talk about it.
Red Bulls looking for the breakthrough here in the second. Jason Pendon able to play this in. Wants Royer. Takes a deflection. Duncan gives it a go. Oh, Johnson initially made the stop. Didn't cross the line. What is the signal from Alan Chapman?
And no goal. I don't think there's any doubt for me about it.
So I'm going to pause it. Let me back it up a frame. Oh. I don't know what we just did there. Oh, I know why. Okay. Let's back it up a frame here. And now I've got, who knows what I did, but we're going to turn it off. Okay. So if this is keeper possession, we know that this attacker can't kick the ball out, right? It's keeper possession. So if this isn't the goal, the keeper has possession. But we have to see if that ball is completely across the goal line. Who has to make that call? Can the AR make that from up here? No, we have to be here. But the keeper bobbled it. So we might not get to that goal line fast enough. Make the effort. If you make the effort, that's all anybody can ask, is to make sure you've made that effort. Okay, so I'll play it out.
See, he's going to take a closer look himself.
Yeah, we couldn't see from that angle, but he's going to get a good look.
The ball has to completely cross the goal line, has it?
It's a goal. He's called a goal, pointed to the center spot. Wow.
Finding his footing.
It's a rivalry game, too. Okay, we're going to skip over this next one. It's a similar clip, but just in the interest of time. So don't think that there aren't going to be cameras at your game. This clip here on the left, this picture was taken from a state playoff game. Obviously, it's a little while ago now, but it's the Rivals here in Cary. And the ball is out of bounds. They scored on this. There is no AR to be found. Don't let this be you. Make the effort. Now, we could give the AR the benefit of the doubt and say that this was a breakaway. But given where the keeper is and the player on the ground, I don't know if it was a breakaway. And it's a state playoff game, like I said. This went out to the entire High School Soccer Association, Referees Association, as in, don't let this happen. And like I said, don't think there won't be cameras at your game. That was a U12 game where we saw earlier with the referee, the assistant referee ball watching. You got to give the effort. Everyone kept saying before, we want to make good money, and you can definitely make good money, but you need to work too. So with that, we are going to move. Any questions on any of those clips that we just saw, or offside in general? So we are going to move on to the referee, and we're going to briefly touch on the referee, and then we're going to get into arbiter. The referee does all the same things, only you have the final say as a referee. The assistant referee is assisting you. So you are the one who is going to blow that whistle. You're the one who's going to file the match report. You're the one who's going to keep a game log of what's going on. And kind of like the flag mechanics, don't let the first time you blow the whistle be when you are starting the game for the first time. Because I guarantee you, what you'll get is now everyone here I think plays. Now think about this. The teams have been there for a half hour warming up. They are ready to go. It's the rivalry game, and you give them. Would you stop for that? Does that sound like a confident whistle? No. Practice that before you go blow your first whistle. Now, that said, let's go back to our soccer field. As ARs, we know we're running from midfield to here and from midfield to here. That is your side of the field. The referee runs roughly from up here to down here. In this area, this is called the referee's diagonal. That does not mean that the referee can't be here. That doesn't mean that the referee can't be down here. It is a guide. Because this is the area where there's no AR. So you're roughly running from up here to up here. Now, we're getting ready for a kickoff. The team that is kicking off is attacking this goal. What does it mean to be the lead AR? What do you think? The lead AR and the trail AR. Yeah, Kyle has it. It's essentially it's the AR that the ball is coming toward is the lead AR, the attacking side of the field. So in our case, the lead AR is this one. Okay? Because the ball is coming this way. As a referee and AR team, you want to try to keep play between you and the lead AR so you can both see it. So, with that information, knowing that we have a kickoff and the team is going to be attacking to the right, where should the referee stand? Area A, Area B, Area C, or Area D when she blows the whistle? A, B, C, D. What do you think? Good. I see a lot of A's and a lot of B's, and that is correct. So the historical place to stand was back here at B. The modern place is A. What I do is I start somewhere back here. I look at my trail AR to make sure that she's ready, and I'm walking this way. I look at my lead AR to make sure she's ready, and then somewhere in here, I'm blowing the whistle. Now, why am I standing here? Two things. Why do I want to run more? That's one thing. Okay, I'm already on my diagonal, right? I'm over here. So I'm on my diagonal. And then the other thing is I'm keeping play between me and my lead AR. Now, if we were kicking off going the other way to the left, my lead AR is now up here. So it would be the exact opposite. I would be somewhere over here. Okay, you don't want to start, if back to the original way, if we're going to the right and I start over here, I've got my back to my lead AR, right? Not only that, I've got to run a lot further to get back on my diagonal. Okay, so just think about it. Which side is closest to your diagonal, and how do I keep play between me and my lead AR? And if I do those things, I'm probably in a pretty good spot. Questions on that? So we have a problem now. Right here is our assistant referee, and the parents are behind her, and the parents are cursing at her. What do we do? What do you think? So I see ignore, I see nothing, I see talk to the coach from Kyle, just keep going. Okay, so, and then I see stop the game. So, we are cracking down on this type of behavior by coaches, by spectators, by players. It can't be tolerated. If somebody is cursing at the assistant referee does not turn and acknowledge the cursing, does not address the parent. The assistant referee calls over the referee by doing exactly what Matthew says. Raise the flag, as we did for the barely a goal. Exactly. Remember, this is one of those times where we don't have a signal for this, right? Flag up in the right hand and just wait. Referee comes over. Now what? The referee's over there with the assistant referee. Does the referee turn and address the parents? No, the referee doesn't. Now, what the referee does is goes and talks to that coach. Now, in our scenario where the assistant referee is being cursed at, I'm probably not leaving her over there. I'm probably going to bring her with me. Why do I want to leave her over there to be cursed at more now that it's already been addressed, right? We don't want, or it's been acknowledged. We don't want that. So maybe she comes with me and we go over and we talk to the coach. Coach, that parent in the red shirt is cursing at the assistant referee. We're not going to be able to start the game again until that parent leaves. You're responsible for the conduct of your parents. Can you please address it? Something as simple like that as that. Now, no more discussion. You've asked the coach to deal with it. Don't stay with the coach. So where can you go now? In this scenario, I'd probably go over to my other assistant referee, so you're all together, and let the coach deal with it. Now, the coach doesn't deal with it. Now what? Well, you heard what I just said. We're not going to be able to start the game again until that parent leaves. So we terminate the game. Now, this just blew up really quickly, okay? We went from doing nothing to terminating the game. But that is the action that NCSRA and North Carolina Soccer and U.S. Soccer want you to take. Now, let's keep working through this. And it's a negative thing to talk about, but we have to talk about it. We've just terminated the game. Leave. Go get in someone's car, as a team if you want to, and drive away. Go to the referee tent. Go somewhere. Don't stay on that field. Because think about it. Everyone's staying off the field because there's a game going on, but you just ended it. So now everyone's going to be on that field. And is anybody happy in this situation? Probably not, right? So get out of there. Even if you have another game on that field, get out of there and come back. Now, what do? You've terminated this game. You need to tell somebody. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to let your assigner know. And that's going to be a call to your assigner. Okay? Second thing you're going to do is in your match report, you're going to put all of the information. In the 43rd minute, my assistant referee was being cursed at by a parent from Team X. We notified the coach. The coach refused to do anything about it. We terminated the game with the score 2-1. You're not declaring a winner. You're just giving facts. And let the proper authorities deal with it. Now, why do the U18 refs get a green badge? The reason why is because the penalties are larger if parents and coaches are doing these things to an under 18 referee. So this is, again, they're cracking down on it. This is one of the latest tools that they have to do it. So take advantage of, if you get one of these, take advantage of it. I'm going to wear it so I don't have to get yelled at by the coaches, right? No, but seriously, take advantage if you get one of those, and don't tolerate the abuse. It's hard. Think about it. These are probably all adults that you're dealing with, but it's your field and you're getting paid to handle this and act professionally doing it. Questions on that? Not a fun topic for refereeing. Now, there is a companion class to this that's a little over an hour long, where we do all the same thing that we just did for assistant referees for the referee. If you're interested in that, when I send my email, reply to me because it's coming up in a couple of weeks and I'll make sure you can get in the class. Okay? Now, how do we get games? Well, you are going to have access to an Arbiter account. You should have it already. And what'll happen is you'll get an email from your assigner. It might be a text message. It'll say, you have new games from Arbiter Sports. Click here to accept them or decline them. It'll bring you to a screen just like this. The only difference is over here on the far right, you'll have an accept checkbox or a decline checkbox. You are expected to accept the game. Now, why are you expected to accept the game? because you have already told your assigner that you can work. Now, how do you do that? Right here, this little tab called Blocks. I'm going to click it and it's going to bring up a calendar. And the color code means on the blue days, I have games assigned to me. On the white days, I have nothing assigned to me, but I've indicated that I am available. On the red day, it means that I have blocked off that day. I am not available. So let's pretend a game comes in on August 7th. The assigner sees I'm available, he assigns it to me, I'm expected to work it. Now, emergencies happen, that's fine, but otherwise you're expected to work it. Now, I'm going to go over and I can block off part of the day, all day. I can block off ranges. I'm going to block off the 7th. Now, a game comes in on the 7th. My name doesn't even come up for the assigner to assign me. The assigner is not going to care why you can't work. The assigner is going to care that you can't work. So he needs to cover that game or she needs to cover that game. If you're unavailable, that's fine. If you say you're available and you're not, that's another really quick way to not getting any more games. So anything, you're going on a date, you've got homework, you're practicing, you're going on vacation, whatever it is, start putting it in your calendar. The assigners will block off, they'll assign games probably 2-3 weeks in advance, but like I said, emergencies happen. What happens if the referee for tomorrow night's game got pulled a muscle and can't referee? The assigner might come to look and say, oh, well, okay, Cohen's available. I'm going to put him on it. It's tomorrow. You probably weren't expecting a game, but here it is, unless you've blocked it off. So that's really important to do. Now, how do you get in touch with your assigner? You're going to get an email from me, and it'll tell you how you find your assigner. And you do it again through Arbiter. And what I would recommend you do is put your assigner numbers in, and again, it'll explain that in the email, and then reach out to your assigner. Hey, I'm Amber. I'm newly certified. I'm going to be working for you. I'm looking forward to working with you and receiving some assignments. And you're probably going to have to send that same email again in 2 weeks, because there are a lot. I think I heard there's something like 60. No, there's not 60. There's several thousand referees in the state. You need to find ways to differentiate yourself for your assigner, to get the assigner to know who you are. Talked about classes, like the class I just mentioned about the referee. You do things like that, get in front of the assigners, and that's one way you're going to differentiate yourself. The assigner is going to have to know your name, though. Anyway, once you've made that connection, you're going to get those assignments. The email will come in, and you come and do this process. You accept the game. Now, how early do you get to the field? What do you think? How early do we get to the field on average? Yeah, 30 minutes before. Now, I'm running behind. And let's see. So I'm going to click this game here. And I have a 3-referee crew. So I'm running late. I'm not going to make it 30 minutes before. So I can come and look at this schedule. I've got the cell phone numbers over here. I've got the telephone number. If there's no cell phone, I can text them or I can call them. And I can say, hey, Colin, I am 10 minutes away. What color are you wearing? Colin can reply back, hey, we're in yellow. And great. Colin and the other partner can go check in the teams. I can get to the field, put on my yellow, and run out there. So if you're running behind, make sure you tell your crew. And with that, what questions are there? What do you think? Everyone ready to go referee some games? Yeah? So good. We're done here tonight. What I'd like for you to do is to put your name, first and last name, in the chat. And once you do that, I am done. If I will hang out here on Zoom. If you have questions, feel free to stick around. I'll stick around till everybody is gone. You'll get an email from me, if not tomorrow, by Friday. And hopefully I'll see you out in the field one day. Thanks for coming tonight.
Thanks for a great session.
Yep. Have a good night. Good luck. And if you have any questions, I'll hang out.